The United States isn't playing fair with the rest of the world when it comes to economics. They don't want a peer competitor.
Yes, sirree. I'm not freaking blind, guys. It's Gweilo style. I think it's Thursday. You could die.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Geez, you know. Oh, yeah, because
It goes on and on and on.
for all you haters, there's something to chew on for the next couple of minutes.
Welcome back to the Gweilo 60 channel. I love that introduction. It's me inside out and backwards, and anybody that watches my videos knows that. But that's not what this video is about. When you look at how the American government treats countries around the world, people that try to compete economically with the United States, they get buried. It basically is what it is. Whether it's economically or militarily, when you're talking oil in the Middle East, places like Syria, well, they just throw the army at that. Yes. In the 80s, what did they do to Japan? They just buried them. Japan was competing in the automotive industry market, and the Americans couldn't have that, and so they put a stop to that right quick, you know. And you look at Venezuela, and you look at Argentina, you look at Afghanistan to Iraq to you name it. It's been rampant. Central and South America. It's been rampant around the world for decades and decades, and then all of a sudden, a peer competitor arrives out of the East. Yeah, China. The Communist Party of China has taken a position of peer competitor to the United States. When they decided to kick the Chinese out of the International Space Station, the Chinese, what did they do? Well, they built their own space station, of course, and it's the way the Chinese deal with things. When in 2019, when the United States sort of curbed the chip making capacity of Huawei and SMIC, what did the Chinese do? Well, they made a 7 nanometer chip without the United States help. But the United States says, oh, they must have stolen that from us, because how could they have the technology that we have? How could they be as good as us? You see the arrogance of the American people. And if you don't think what I'm saying is true, listen to this.
The United States must make sure that we do not have a peer competitor for our security. Think about what this means. This is a brutalist philosophy. The proposition is that even if China were to change in some of the ways that proponents of engagement have been said that we hope it changes, even if they just, as a thought experiment, adapted our Constitution and our laws wholesale, we should still try to limit their growth merely because we shouldn't have a peer competitor. That is the proposition, regardless of beliefs, regardless of people striving for human flourishing along the lines that we have been prescribing to the world for decades. If they actually appear to be succeeding, regardless of their beliefs, we must stop them, even if it means pushing them back toward poverty.
Robert,
Have I misunderstood the proposition?
I don't mean this question cynically or sarcastically, but what's wrong with that?
Isn't that a peach, guys? You see, every time the United States tries to slow down the China's economy, the Chinese step up to the plate and just sort of work their way through it. You've got to understand that China puts out more engineers out of their universities than all the other countries in the world combined, put together. It's the God-honest truth. They're building things better. They're building things faster. You know, the Huawei Mate 60 Pro, the cell phone that came out just lately, it's you can use it for satellite calls. It's got 5G. It's got their own technology in it. It's all made in China. Nothing is made outside the country. They don't have to go to the United States to make this product anymore. You look at the automotive industry, the thing that sort of buried Japan back in the 80s. Well, now BYD, Build Your Dreams. It's the name of a car company over in China. They're the largest car exporter in the world today. I can remember back 2003, 2004, the Chinese vehicles weren't very good. They were they weren't as good as the Western vehicles. You saw a lot of Fords and Chevrolets and BMWs on the streets of China, and those were the preferred vehicles because they were just made better. That no longer applies. Now China is the place that makes the best vehicles in the world. They've got EVs that on one charge can go 1,000 kilometers. Here, that's unheard of in the Western world. They haven't got to that point yet. So as a peer competitor in the automotive industry, China is above peer with the United States. You've got the big airplanes, the jets that carry people around, 200, 300, 400 people at a time. And that used to be an American company that did that. Only now you've got the Chinese making these big, monstrous jetliners that take their people around their own country and around the world. A peer competitor? Oh, definitely a peer competitor. With the space station, peer competitor, where the International Space Station was supposed to be decommissioned about this time. They're holding on to it now because they know that China's got their space station. It's brand spanking new. So peer competitor, well, I think China's ahead in that one too. So, you know, with the cell phone industry is big bucks, guys. Everybody's got one in their hand. You walk around, everybody needs their cell phone now. So when you're looking at the Americans, and they don't want a peer competitor. They haven't had a peer competitor since the USSR was, I think the wall went down in 97, that all fell apart. And now the United States is the big boy on the block, and they really like it like that. They like to push their weight around. They like to destroy economies of countries that try to compete with them. But now they've got China to deal with, and they don't know how to deal with China. It's one of those things that it's sort of interesting watching it, because every time they try to do something that a sanction to stop China's growth in a certain industry, China sort of breaks through that wall and builds their own space station. They break through that wall, build their own 5G cell phone, break through that wall, build their own airplanes and state-of-the-art vehicles on the roads, just like the bridges, just like the high-rise buildings going up all across the country, just like the universities, some of the best universities. You see, China isn't just a peer competitor to the United States. It's actually moving ahead of the United States in a lot of these industries, and the United States is panicking. The United States figures that if they badmouth China, that's somehow going to make China not excel as fast. And we've seen in the past that hasn't worked, but they still haven't changed that type of mindset. You see all of the propaganda, anti-China this, anti-China. They're actually spending, I think it's $300 million a year paying journalists so that they'll demonize China in their newspapers, their social media, their news channels, and whatever around the world. So when you see something like this, you have to understand that they're scared. They don't want to be number 2 in the world, but it's basically inevitable, and they know that. They can go down kicking and screaming and acting like children, like they are right now, thinking that they're somehow superior to the Chinese people, the Chinese government, and the country of China. But as we've all seen through the videos like this, that just basically isn't true, and China is going to come out on top. They're going to be the dominant economic force in the world, and they're going to bring a lot of countries with them through organizations like BRICS. And that's going to help the whole world, not just the one country that the United States is looking out for, and that's the United States of America. And that, my friends, is another video from Gweilo 60. If you like this video, as always, like, comment, subscribe, push that share button. Don't forget to resubscribe, hit the bell. And until next time, as always, peace out. Bye now.